Hello and welcome back to the Gaming Tech channel, everybody. We're live on YouTube and Twitch, and we're back with Forza Horizon 6. So let's start off this session with this 1994 Honda Prelude SI. I actually had no idea that Preludes came with the SI variant. So this is the SI. Nice dual overhead cam engine. I'm only familiar with the 2000 model because I do know that that car came with, or it was released in the Ace SH model, but I wasn't really aware of the SI model. I thought that was only for Civics, but nope. This car also came with the SI engine. Maybe it's a different engine, maybe it's just suspension tuning, I'm not 100% sure, but we'll find out here. Because the newer 2000 year Prelude, well, not new, because they just released a new one, and that one is not that great because it's hybrid and all that with the CVT transmission. So I'm not talking about the latest one, but I'm talking about I believe that's the 5th gen, the one that was released in 2000 year. I think it was released a little before that, but it was still in production around the year 2000. So that was the Type Ace Edge. And that one also, I believe, came with all-wheel drive, not all-wheel drive, but four-wheel drive steering, so the rear wheels also turned a little. But I'm not sure about the SI. Is the SI same engine as the regular Prelude? Does it have anything other done to it from the factory? So let's check it out. Let's see what this car is capable of. Alright, sounds a little different than regular Hondas. I don't know why. The sound is a little deeper. It's not as raspy or as shallow as other Hondas. Let's take a look at the engine specs. So just like other Preludes, it's a 2.2 liter engine, making 160 horsepower and 156 foot-pounds of torque. So I'm pretty sure the 2000 year Prelude was making around 200 horsepower. So it's a little low in power, but it's the SI model, so how's the SI different than the regular one? I'm not sure. That's something I'm gonna have to check online, but here we are. Because I know with Civics, the SI meant for dual overhead cam engine, at least for the older Civics. Yeah, sounds different for a Honda. Okay, so this is definitely different. You know why? Because I was expecting digital gauges. Or maybe I'm getting it mixed up with the S2000, but I'm pretty sure the Prelude had digital gauges. This model year at least. Because I remember using this car in Forza Horizon 5, and I'm like 99% sure that we had digital gauges. So maybe that's a different model year. Maybe that was the non-SI. can't really tell when the VTEC kicks in. Does it not have VTEC? Do we have all-wheel drive steering? No, we do not. I honestly can't tell if this car has VTEC or not, because the VTEC crossover is very subtle. Or maybe it's just not there. Maybe VTEC's there, but I can't tell. So, with other Hondas, you can definitely tell. With like the K series and the B series engines. I think this is the F series engine. Maybe it kicks in around 6,000, but it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, it gets a little faster around 6,000 RPM, but again, nothing too crazy. I mean, after all, it's only 160 horsepower, right? So, but I swear, the other, or not the other, but like the same car in the other game, the previous game, Horizon 5, had digital gauges. So I don't know when they made that change. Maybe that was a newer Prelude, or maybe that was a non-SI version. I'm not sure if this also came in SH. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, it's a very different sounding Honda engine. I wasn't expecting that. It's lacking that Honda factor, you know? That loud, and raspy sound. It's just not there. Alright, it's probably going to run like a 15 in the quarter mile. 15.5.
You have arrived at your destination.
16.1, so it's not the fastest car out there. Alright, this time I'm gonna launch it myself without the Forza launch control. This has gotta be in the high 15s.
You have arrived at your destination.
15.999! Nice! So we definitely improved by launching it ourselves. Alright, so this is a C-Class Honda. Let's make some changes to the engine. Because right now it does not sound like a Honda. We want it to sound a little louder, a little raspier. That's more like it. We're getting there. That's proper. That's a proper Honda for you. Let's add some cams as well. And an intake. Intake, exhaust cams, and maybe we can do brakes. All right, that sounds like a good setup to me. All right, we're only gonna do intake, exhaust, cams, and brakes for now. And let's try to do some C-Class racing with this car. Some C-Class online racing. I mean, we'll take it around the track first, just to get a baseline run. It's probably going to be around the 2-minute mark. 2 minute 5 seconds, something like that. Oh, again, I just remembered. The S2000 came with the F-Series engine. This is the H-Series engine. This is the H22. I think that engine was exclusive for the Prelude, something like that. I don't think they put that engine in any other car. Again, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was the whole thing behind it. The H-Series was for 157, not bad. I was expecting a little worse, like 2 minute 5 seconds. Maybe with the stock setup it would have been close to 2 minute 5 seconds, but 157 is not bad. But again, the H22 I'm pretty sure was just made for the Prelude. Don't quote me on it though. Let's try a street race in C-Class, and we'll use our Honda Prelude. It always takes a little longer than usual when we're trying to find a C-Class race, but we can wait. Alright, looks like we found one. Let's see what kind of cars we're up against. Are we going to be quicker than our Fox body? Let's find out. We're going to be racing a Toyota Prius. The latest Prius. I didn't mean to do that, it just happened. How did we finish second? I thought we were gonna be third. Prius is still here. So is one of the Datsuns. We were literally 30 years nearer compared to that Prius, but we still destroyed it. Alright, let's make some changes to this car. It's doing pretty good, but we can make it a little better. So let's try to keep it in
Welcome
C
back,
class,
X.
because I think it'll be better for this car to remain in C class. I mean, competition is just gonna get tougher if we jump it in the next class. So let's try to add a 10 speed. While keeping our prelude in C class. I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to give up on a little bit of power, but that's all right. It's not a big deal. We'll go with the lighter flywheel. Unless we can go with race springs and dampers, that'll be even better. Perfect. You can do that. Alright, this might be our best setup so far. We're taking out a little bit of power, but we're giving it a better transmission, plus better suspension. So let's see how it does now. Before, it was kind of struggling in 5th gear, and even 4th gear was a little too long. So our last best time around the lap was 1 minute 57 seconds. Let's see if you can beat that. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to beat it, but let's see what happens. Let's make the gearing even sharper, even shorter. We're gonna go with super short gearing so we can keep this thing in its power band the entire time, no matter what gear we're in. That looks good. So it looks like we're about a second slower. I mean, we are down on power, so being a second slower is normal. So short gearing didn't really help in this circuit race, but if we're doing a sprint race, it'll definitely be more helpful. So let's do another street race in C class and see if you're a little better this time. I think the gearing could be a little shorter. This has to be our lightest Honda. The Honda Z GT. Going to be racing a BMW A50 CSI. Are we in trouble? I don't know. That BMW has a big spoiler on the back, so the top end cannot be that great with that big spoiler. We're gaining on it. Harvey? What's bro doing? Oh, that person quit? Did they not want to lose to a Honda? I don't know. Maybe they have bad internet? Who knows? It's not so fun when the other people quit. I mean, of course we were gonna be finishing first, right? Because we were the only one. Not a surprise. Alright, I'm gonna quit if we're still alone here, because I don't want to race myself. Yeah, we're not doing this. Racing by ourselves? Yeah. This is not free roam, come on. This is an online race. We're supposed to be racing with other people. But where they all at? Maybe they don't want to race in C-Class. Or maybe people have stopped playing this game. I have
Okay,
seen
X. What
a
do you
few
want to do
videos
next?
online where, you know, there people are complaining how this game has lost players. So maybe that could be the reason, who knows? I mean, we're in 2026 and people lose interest very quickly. It could be an attention span problem, or it could be just, you know, a fatigue problem. I have no idea. But yeah, people are starting to lose interest in a bunch of things. So gaming could be one of them. And it seems like that problem has also reached Forza. So maybe that's why we're seeing less players. Again, I don't want to make any like crazy conclusions here. Could be due to any different reason. Who knows, right? But what I can tell you is that I still enjoy this game. It's still fun. Alright, even though I did say earlier that, you know, it'll be hard for us to kind of compete if we bump this car up into B class, but I kind of want to make it faster, and we can't really do that while staying in C class, so here we go. Time to modify this car a little more. Of course, the
Welcome back,
competition is
X.
going to get tougher, but we might have better luck finding more people to race with in B class. So that's why we're doing that. Let's just leave this car front wheel drive because it's doing pretty good for what it is. So let's add more power. Let's turbo it. What does it sound like with a supercharger? That's an interesting sound. But I think I'm going to stick with the turbo here. And we're also going to stick with the stock engine. Now that we're running a turbo, I'm going to go with better brakes. And better tires. Little bit of weight reduction? No, not going to do that. So we will go with the street compound here. But we will leave the width stock, the 205mm tire. I know it's kind of skinny, but it should still put the power down because we're not running that much power here. It's a decent amount, but it's not like crazy amount. Alright, I don't want to be in A class, so we're gonna have to do something here. Wait, I can take the rear wing off? Does it help with the top end? Not really. But I think I like the clean look. I mean, the spoiler, the factory spoiler doesn't look that bad. But I also like the clean look at the same time. It looks very sleek. Doesn't even look like a Prelude without the wing. So here's the thing. If we try to go with a bigger turbo, like that Sport Turbo that we're trying to pick, we are gonna end up in A class. But I don't want to lose on the extra 62 horsepower, so maybe we'll downgrade to the brakes that we had earlier. It's really going to hurt our braking performance. What do we do now? We could get rid of the chassis reinforcement. Yeah, we'll do that. Maybe we could add some better looking wheels. Lighter wheels. Lighter wheels go a long way, right? Less rotational mass, which equals to more top end. Because the faster we get, that rotational mass is just exponentially gonna hurt our top end power. So the lightest we can go for, it looks like, is 36 pounds. Wow, 36 pounds lighter than factory. I like that. Should we just go with T37s? Maybe not, because we put those on like every single car. Let's just go with like any decent looking design here. Oh, the RPF ones? No. They're just so, I don't want to say basic, but overplayed. Yeah, let's go with something different. These Vorsteiner wheels. I honestly don't think this is the best design for this car, but you gotta pick one here. We'll just go with these right here. The Vorsteiner VCS002. Alright, we're done. We're done building this car. Now we are maxed out in B class. We're making some healthy amount of horsepower. Should be fun. Alright, can we beat our best time around the track? Which was a 1 minute 57. I think we can easily get a 150 this time. I feel like it's gonna be 7 seconds faster for sure. We have a lot more horsepower and the car has better tires and it's just more dialed in. What we need is longer gearing. I'll adjust that after. $148? 11 seconds faster than our best time? I was hoping for a 150 and we did a 148. That's really good. We can obviously improve more if we have longer gearing. Alright, right about there seems good to me. Yeah. That's not gonna work. And I think I know why this is happening. We're still on that stock differential. We gotta put a racing diff in this thing. Having some aero in the front would really help, but can't really do that. Our car is gonna end up at 601. It's gonna be in A class. What if I add all-wheel drive? Alright, can't really do that. You could make it rear-wheel drive. No, let's just leave it front-wheel drive. Alright, let's see if the sport differential is gonna help us a bit. Because I was noticing some one-wheel peel, so maybe it'll also fix that issue. Perfect! Now we're spinning both wheels. We no longer have an open differential. We got a locking diff now. Feels much better already. Perfect! Yeah, locking diff is really important, you know. Without that locking diff, you're gonna be struggling hard. And we missed the checkpoint. Alright, let's do this again from the beginning. For some reason, the car just feels a little off. I mean, is it the longer gearing? I'm gonna try to go for shorter gearing again. 145.9. Whole 2.5 seconds faster compared to the previous fastest time, so that is pretty good for a B-class front-wheel drive car. Not just a B-class car, I mean front-wheel drive B-class car, so time to put it to a real test now against other players. Yeah, I don't know what it is with the shorter gearing, but it just feels much better. We're able to slow down quicker. We're able to accelerate out of the corner quicker. It just works out a little better. Normally you'd want a little longer gearing when you have a turbocharged setup. But here, that formula is not really working, so that's why we're back to the shorter gearing. We're going to end up with a flat spot on the rear tires, but that's alright. This car did really well when it came to C-Class racing, but now we're in B-Class. Let's see if it can hold its place. Are we still going to be as good as we were earlier, or are we going to be a little worse, or a lot worse? I think we can still hold our position. I have faith in this car. The front-wheel drive drivetrain makes it a little challenging, but it also makes it fun because the driving dynamics of the front-wheel drive platform is so much different compared to rear-wheel or all-wheel. All-wheel is probably the toughest because, you know, you're always going to be running into lots of understeer. It's the same dude that we were racing earlier in the Prius. I recognize his username. He's probably going to be wondering how our Prelude is now in B-Class. This Prelude is flying. This could be a nice toge racing car. For all downhill racing, this might be a really good car for that. Usually front-wheel drive cars have pretty good luck when it comes to toge racing. This 10 speed really does wonders. I mean, we're always in the right gear. Always in the right power band. There we go. What a race. Are you kidding me? He messed up. He messed up bad. Alright, now let's just focus on finishing this race and not getting a DNF. Not bad. We were still able to finish the race. And we have the highest points overall, so can't really complain. We'll just stay in the queue here and do some more racing because I like the setup that we got going on right now. We don't need to make any further changes. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm gonna have some water here. Alright, let's be careful this time. There's gonna be a limo in the race. Let's go. Bro, the NPC. Why was it just parked there? Or maybe number one crashed into that NPC and caused it to freeze in the middle of the road. Not bad. That was a good race. Prelude's holding it down for all the Honda enthusiasts. Let's go, Prelude. Oh, you got a Porsche in the mix this time. That limo just took off on us. How's the limo so fast? We're literally racing with B-class cars. That limo has to be like, I don't know, 700-800 horsepower. Because it's moving pretty good. No, 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 don't go off the road, don't go off the road. Oh, no, no, come on, Prelude. Oh, no. Alright, we finished third. Who finished fourth then? Oh, the Altezza. Of course, the Porsche finished first, because we messed up. We almost went off the road there. And when we got back on the road, we hit the NPC. Oh man, that was a good race, a fun race. Got a Chevy K10 in the mix. Let's go. What a race! Wow. Oh, I finished second? No way. You got me at the last moment. Wow. That was a fun race. That was a super fun race. It doesn't even fit on that podium. Alright, I think we should just keep on racing with the Prelude because this is a fun build. I like it. So we have more power compared to our S2000. But we just have less resistance when it comes to aerodynamics because there is no aero on this car and we don't need aero because it's front wheel drive. It doesn't have trouble putting its power down, so it's a fun build. The last race was super fun. Alright, we got the same dude with the limo again, but this time he's rocking that Honda Civic. This guy's literally skating. He honked at me. Oh, buddy. That was a funny race. We got all JDM cars and one American Chevy Bel Air. That's so funny. My bad, bro. Looks like the dude in the Bel Air quit. He definitely chose a wrong car. I mean, he was skating all over that road. Why'd that dude stop over there? Oh, that person quit? Hmm. Alright, overall, we had fun with this car. I actually didn't think it was going to be this fun, but it turned out to be an awesome build. An awesome front-wheel drive B-class car. It did really well in C, and it did really well in B. But I'm not gonna upgrade it to A-class. We're just gonna leave it here. Let's check out our wheel spin. Nice. 15K. Cool. Before we call it a session, let's see if there's something new around our map here. And it looks like there's this championship going on. That's new. A seasonal championship. Another seasonal championship over here. And another one over here. Are you serious? So looks like it's gonna be going on for the next 6 days. So we don't have to do all of them today, but let's start one of them at least. This one seems like a fun one. Microcar Madness. I don't know what that means. Let's see what kind of eligible cars that we got for this Micro Madness. What are our eligible cars? So these are our eligible cars here. But we only own one of them, so I'm not gonna bother purchasing a newer car just to get this race done. We'll just use what we got. Oh, it looks like we even have this Honda Beat that we could use for this race. It did not show up as an eligible car earlier. I don't know why. Like, why doesn't it show up here? But for some reason we could use it. Alright, we're gonna use the Honda Beat because we have already modified it. And it's got some nice semi-slick tires. And it's maxed out in A-class. It's got better power to weight ratio compared to the Metro 6R4. So we're gonna go with the Beat. This is just too easy compared to online racing. Yeah, I can kind of see why this would get boring. That was way too easy.
Okay, X. What's next?
Alright, let's get the other two done as well so we can win the seasonal reward. I don't even know what the reward is. A MB Unimog Mercedes. Mercedes-Benz, I believe. A Unimog. What does that look like? Is that the military style truck that they got? Alright, we're gonna use the other Metro this time. Because this car is just too good. We'll try to use something, yeah, this truck right here. Cool. Are we gonna use it once we get it? Probably not, but we're just doing it for the sake of this seasonal championship. Alright, this time let's pick this Metro. Where is the other event? Okay, we found it. This thing weighs 15,000 pounds. Wow. How many gears do we have? 8 gears? Okay. So the red line is at 3000 RPM. I've never seen it this low. I know it's a diesel, but 3000 RPM? Really? Alright, let's take it to the quarter-mile strip. I know it's gonna be slow. Probably going to run a 40-second in the quarter-mile, 40-second lap. Not a lap, but a 40-second time. So it's basically geared for pulling, you know, or not for pulling, but pushing its own weight, you can call it. So the first 3 gears are just super short. They're just meant to get this thing off the line. Fourth is a little longer, and fifth is longer than fourth, and sixth is even longer than fifth. Seventh is the longest so far. Don't tell me we're gonna get our quarter done under 25 seconds. What? 24 seconds? I was thinking 40 seconds. I was way off there. Yeah, this is definitely in D class. Can we make it faster? I mean, now that we have this thing, why not, you know, have some fun with it? Because if you don't have some fun with it now, we're probably never going to come back to it. So might as well, you know, have a little bit of fun. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Look at these engine swap options. No way, no way, no freaking way. I did not know this existed. I actually had no idea. So we all know this engine swap, the 6.7 liter V8 turbo diesel, the Power Stroke from Ford, from the F450 dually. And I've never seen this option before. The 12.8 liter straight 6 turbo diesel makes good amount of horsepower, 1080 horsepower, and when it comes to torque, man, it makes ton of torque. Like, you can probably pull a train with it. 3,685 pounds of torque, foot-pounds of torque. But this option right here is what really stands out. So it's not any larger than our last option. It's a 12.8 liter. Same displacement, but same configuration when it comes to cylinders. So it's a straight 6 turbo diesel. But dude, it makes 2,400 horsepower. 24 freaking 100 horsepower. With 22 foot-pounds of torque. 4,422 foot-pounds of torque. That's a lot of torque. Damn. So the stock 0 to 60, it just shows, oh well, it actually does show us the stock 0 to 60, 27.9 seconds. So we hit that quarter mile before we could reach our 0 to 60 speed. That's crazy, because we finished that quarter in 24 seconds. And this truck achieved 0 to 60 in 27.9 seconds. So with the 2,400 horsepower engine, we cannot get 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 times due to the transmission not capable of those speeds, because, you know, it's geared really short. It's geared for basically the maximum amount of torque that, this chassis can deliver to move some weight. So we're gonna have to put a better transmission, of course, if we need some better, if we want some better numbers out of this thing. So all right, I've never seen that much torque, man. I've seen 2400 horsepower because I believe the R35 GTR, the one that is equipped with the drag pack and all that, the Forza edition R35 does have somewhere close to 2400 horsepower, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. But again, I've never seen that much torque produced by an engine, so that's crazy. So of course we're gonna leave the all-wheel drive in because there's no way rear-wheel drive setup can put down that much power. Let's add a 10 speed because we need a 10 speed. After adding the 10 speed, our 0 to 60 time is 4.5 seconds. And dude, that's a crazy fast time considering this thing almost weighs 17,000 pounds. 17,000 pounds, and we're gonna do 0 to 60 in 4.5? Bro. And 179 miles per hour top speed? What? That's crazy. This is some crazy stuff. Alright, can we do some weight reduction? Is that possible? So no, we cannot do any weight reduction. That section is not available. So, oh wait, I was in the wrong overall section. I was looking at the drivetrain components. So yeah, weight reduction is available. What am I saying, bro? So we can get this thing down by 4,000 pounds, 4233, which is decent. We'll be down to 12,000 pounds. I'm okay with that, yeah. Better brakes. Don't need to worry about the suspension. We don't need to make it stiffer either. And we don't need to reinforce the chassis. We don't have to do any of that. But yeah, we already added the brakes here. Already added the transmission. Now let's work on the tires. Let's add drag tire compound. Our 0 to 60 is down to 3.3. Wow. I wonder what would happen if we get rid of the all-wheel drive system completely. Can our 0 to 60 be better than 3.3? Not really. We might be able to get this thing to wheelie. So maybe let's get rid of the all-wheel drive system, maybe. We'll have to add the transmission back in, the 10 speed. Because we messed with the drivetrain here. Is our weight reduction still in place? Yep. So our 0 to 60 time is not as good as it was with the all-wheel drive system, but we can definitely improve on that with some change in the gearing. Bro, we have 395s in the front. What? 395s in the rear, but we can get that up to 425s. What? 425s? That's funny. Wow, the 24s look like 15, 16-inch wheels. Just because the overall size is so big for the entire tire and wheel combo. That's crazy. So we can definitely increase our speed by going with larger tire size, larger sidewall. Plus, it'll be a little better for launching. We will leave the front as it is. And let's add some lighter wheels. Wow, the lightest we can go on here is what? 96 pounds. This is next level. 100 pounds. Wow. 149 pounds. 199 pounds is the lightest we can go. Is that for each wheel or all combined? I think that's for each wheel. I'm pretty sure. Well, we can just double check by just changing the fronts. If that'll be any different. Is it still gonna show me 100 pounds? So now it's 96 pounds if we just do the front two. So maybe we were getting a combined rating there, because yeah, that was a combined rating. Now we know. So 199 pounds altogether. That's almost 50 pounds per wheel in rotational mass. I can't believe I'm seeing that right now. Alright, these kind of match the vibe here. Let's go with these. They almost look factory, but a lot lighter. I think we're done with the setup here. This thing is ready to pop some wheelies. Look at that setup. We're gonna go from 228 horsepower to 2400 horsepower. And the power to weight ratio is gonna go from 0.01 to 0.2. Wow, man. Alright. The first thing we're gonna try is popping some wheelies. Can we pop wheelies? Okay. I think we need the rally suspension on here. The suspension is a little too stiff, so let's add the rally suspension and we should be good to go for some wheelies. I mean, it'll pop wheelies and it'll do a solid time in the quarter mile. Our last time was 24 seconds, which was still a respectable time. I mean, considering this thing was like close to 17,000 pounds with only 228 horsepower. Did have a decent amount of torque, but not a whole lot of horsepower. But now we should be a lot faster. I mean, there's absolutely no need for that all-wheel drive system. Especially if you're rocking these drag racing tires. There's no need for that. Let's make the gearing really long, because we have the torque to back it up. So can we not get the front wheels to lift off? Okay, I think we're gonna have to make our first gear really short. That's the only way we can launch a little harder. Alright, we need to adjust the final drive as well. Alright, we need to make the rear stiffer. I'm telling you, it's possible. We can probably get this thing to wheelie. Lower the front. Or should we lower the rear? What's gonna be more beneficial when it comes to launching? Alright, we have lowered the rear, which is better for launching but not for wheelies, so let's do it the other way around. Lower the front and raise the rear. Make the rear suspension even stiffer than that. Let's try now. You're probably not gonna get this thing to wheelie just because how heavy this thing is. Yeah, that wheelie is not gonna be possible. This thing is just too heavy. Making a rear wheel drive did help with the launch a little bit and made it lighter, but popping that wheelie is gonna be impossible. Alright, let's run in the quarter mile.
Arrived at your destination.
11.3? And we weigh almost 13,000 pounds? Alright, I think we're shifting a little too much. The gears need to be longer. Because we have the torque. Hey, what's up? Thanks for joining. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten rid of the all-wheel drive system. My only hope was, when I was going for the rear-wheel drive setup, to pop some wheelies in this thing, but looks like that's not going to be possible, so maybe we'll add the all-wheel drive system back in just so we can make it leave the line faster.
You've arrived at your destination.
Alright, I'm just gonna try adding the all-wheel drive back in. Maybe we'll be able to get this thing to launch much harder. I'm not too sure. I don't think it can launch any harder than what it already does, or how it already leaves, but we can try. There's no problem with trying. And since we have all-wheel drive now, we can reduce the rear profile for the tire. Alright, let's give it one more go on the drag strip and then we'll call it a night. So our 0 to 60 is already better. It's down to 3.2. Can we get it down to like 3.1? And more part of the rear. Alright, so looks like the 0 to 60 might be a little faster. Because here's the thing, if we can improve the 0 to 60, the overall run will be a little faster. As long as we don't, you know, slow down the truck by having extra drivetrain loss, because now we're running power to all four wheels. Yeah, the launch is not that great. So let's put this all the way towards acceleration. And now let's work on each gear. The goal is to have 0 to 60 that's under 3.2. Oh, look at that, 0 to 100, 6.6. This is decent. This is probably the best we can do. What if we go all the way up on the tire pressure? That actually helps. Normally it's the other way around. You have to drop the tire pressure in order for your vehicle to hook, but this is a heavy truck, so... Alright, let's try to do a low 11-second pass, or maybe high 10 would be nice.
You have arrived at your
10-9? Bro. I don't think it's gonna go any faster, but that is a really good time right there. 10-9? That's crazy. Oh, I just remembered that we have added some wide tires in the rear. Let me go back down to the stock width, because before we had a rear-wheel drive setup, and now we're back to the factory all-wheel drive. So we no longer need those wide tires in the rear. Alright, let's give it one more go. It might be a little faster now. Instead of 10-9, we might be doing a 10-8 this time. That's just my guess, but let's see. 10-8 will be awesome for a 12,000 pound truck. Let's try a 10-8. I mean, I'm already really happy that we're down in the 10s. High 10s, but 10-8 will be crazy good for this thing. Oh, we bounced it off the limiter there.
You have arrived at your destination.
11-0. We cannot be bouncing it off the limiter. That's not gonna work. Plus, the second gear feels a little too long. Oh, we just got the 0 to 60 down to 3.1. That's good stuff. Alright, let's try this new tune. Seems a little faster. So we have to shift this thing right at 3000 RPM. Our red line is like 3150, 3200.
You have arrived at your
10-9
destination.
again. I am satisfied with the 10-9. I mean, just look at the size of this thing and the weight of this thing. 10-9 is no joke. For 12,000 pounds? You almost have like G-Wagon seating position. No offense to the G-Wagon owners, but... Wow, the cabin is really quiet. Alright, this is it for this session. Time to call it a night. It's been a fun session. Racing with the Honda Prelude was super fun. Online racing is always fun, you know. Can't go wrong with some online racing. And we'll do some more racing in the next one, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out, and I'll see you soon. Peace.